When setting up Calendly for a large number of people and probably an administrator, and you want to have a uniform way in which these are set up, you can make use of managed events. They allow you to have control over the setup process, and they allow you to make uniform meetings. So how do you do that? You go to where it says admin center at the bottom there, and then you choose managed events. So creating managed events is done by clicking the button create. Now you can only create one-on-one and group events as managed events. Those are the only ones you can create here on the managed events setting. So let's say we want to create a one-on-one. Everything else is created the same way, just as we have shown in the past videos. There's no difference there, except that whenever you are creating, you then put an option for the person to be able to change that section. So if you are creating a uniform meeting, then you do not want people to change the name of the meeting or even the duration. So you can turn off these buttons until you finish up all the settings. Even the payment there, you can just turn it off. All of these have those buttons. So once you do that, you then determine which of these sections a person can change. For example, on the notification and workflows, you might want the person to have the ability to change how the invitation looks or things like that. So you leave it open for the person to change that. Once you do that, you save the changes. I'd already created a meeting called contract finalization. So how then do you distribute this managed event to different people? So when an account is created and the person has been able to get into that account, what you then do is you click on the event and then you scroll down to where it says assign. So there are two ways of assigning people. You can assign to a direct person. So imagine you are in an organization which has 100 people, then you have to tick each person you want to have a contract finalization meeting. However, an easier way of doing that is to create what we call groups, and they are created here. Once you create those groups, you then say add groups. In this case, we have a sales group, a sales team, which has 2 members, and then I say assign. Once I do that, these will be assigned to those people. So if we are to go back to our Calendly account, and then we choose Tom, we look into Tom's account, you'll notice that the contract finalization meeting has been added, and it's shown by this crown there that it is managed by the administrator. You can only do this to people whom you have added to your organization. So you need to have added a user to your organization to be able to assign them a meeting there. Just for illustration purposes, all of these sections, I've left them open for people to be able to change. So for illustration purposes, say, for example, I can say finalization meeting 1. So this means the person can change anything that is within the meeting. But if I do not want that, if we go back to the managed events, just to illustrate, we're just going to turn off the name there so that people cannot change. If we save the changes there and go back and go to contract finalization, if I try to change anything, you can see I'm not able to click there. So that is just a demonstration of the ability to lock all the sections within the meetings there. So that's how you make use of these managed events. It then saves you the time of creating one event after the other. You simply assign a person to an event and it automatically appears within their account. Just to show you, there's Greg there. We had also assigned to Tom. So in Tom's account, you'll be able to see that the contract finalization has also been assigned. So that's an easy way of creating meetings and managing them in your organization.